This television is a port.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the commentary for the Twilight-Tober Zone special segments that we did for 2021. I'm here with Jim J. Ross.
Hey, everybody.
What's going on, Jim?
Yeah.
So I titled this video Why I Brought Back Demo Reel, because I did want to talk about that during this, along with what's actually on screen. So this was like my backup plan basically for last year. I wanted to do either this or a thing that I was going to call Walter Vision, which was like a spoof on WandaVision, and it was going to be skits based off of that. So I never thought that they would go for this. I never thought. I had to clear it with Doug and Rob and a few other people, and I was like, no way, they're not gonna say yes. But I want to ask just.
Were you more afraid that Doug and Rob were gonna be like, nah?
I thought everyone was gonna say no. I thought literally everyone was gonna say no. I called Doug. I texted him. I was like, can I call you really quick to discuss something? And he was like, yeah. And I called him, and he was like, well, there's a couple things. The first thing is I don't have any hair. I was like, well, we can get around that. That's not that big of a deal. You wear a hat anyway, as the character. So I don't. The other thing was something very minimal. I don't think anyone would care or whatever. And I was like, well, that's not really the point. It's just kind of making it creepy, and it's almost been 10 years since the show was around and stuff, and bringing it back now and having the characters get revenge and making it a horror themed thing. And he said he liked the idea. He thought it could be funny and interesting. So he was down with it. Then I had to talk to Rob, and he was surprisingly yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, you're yeah, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah,
nobody know. You can't do any more damage to the demo reel.
True. So that worked out. And we have what this is now. I mean, it wasn't ever a thing where I'm going to show everybody, I'm going to redeem demo reel.
Yeah, right,
it wasn't anything like that. It was just a cool angle I thought I had on those characters that we could bring it back to fit in with what we did with Twilight-Tober Zone 2020.
Yeah.
And I think it turned out really well. I think this is some of the best stuff that I've done for Channel Awesome, period.
And this was a ton of fun to shoot and stuff too. It was nice to make some productions with some atmosphere and some kind of little bit, put a little bit of production into it, and it was an exciting idea.
Yeah, it worked out pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
It's been said that the past can come back to haunt us, but as Mr. Malcolm Ray is about to find out, his past has a more sinister agenda. For each
So where we're at right now, the first one we did with Malcolm, so this is for the After Hours episode with all the mannequins at the department store and stuff, which is a great episode. Great episode. I didn't have exact titles for all these, but I kind of codenamed this one the Malcolm Hours.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was funny. But I think this was the very first one that we shot. So we kind of leaned in heavy on the demo reel at the very beginning of this episode to set everything up. So we showed Tacoma and everything. And you saw in the background there inserted Doug walking in the background. He wasn't actually on set for any of that stuff. It was just one day of shooting all these different things on green screen, and I inserted into the first 4 episodes. I remember Malcolm saw us for the first time, and he told me it freaked him out because he didn't remember anyone being back there in the hallway.
I mean, it was good. It looked like he was really there. It didn't look like it was interjected.
Mm-hmm. This is one of my favorite 2 shots, going back and forth in this. Yeah. For whatever reason, when we have the lights all dramatic in the wardrobe room, that little hall looks super creepy.
Yeah.
There's a big garage door back there that has a bunch of windows, so we moved a big board in front of it, so that blocked out the light. We just tried to make everything very moody. Mm-hmm. And this definitely fit in with the After Hours motif with all the dummies that we have in there. Though this was a total accident.
Yeah.
Total accident. There was a reflective plastic piece on top of that rack there, and it looked so cool, but we couldn't get it to look right, so we brought in a small mirror that you found, and it looked perfect, man.
So good.
Yeah, that really turned out really well. And that's not green screened or anything.
Right.
It's a real reflection. Yeah, he's coming into color. Yeah, that turned out great. The whole thing of them coming into color was actually kind of by accident.
Oh, really?
Because I remember you telling you, definitely paint Malcolm how he really looks, his real skin tone, the dummy that you built for that, which is great, which is, the cast of his face.
Yeah.
And it just looks so good. It's so creepy to look at. But I remember like, this is gonna be black and white. Why did I tell Jim to put it in color? And I was like, well, I'm just gonna have all the demo reel characters be in color. And that worked out. It was kind of a bitch to like track his face at the beginning to try and set that up when Tacoma's in the interview part of the demo reel episode.
Yeah.
But it all worked out where like the characters come into color when they're coming on screen in the Twilight-Tober Zone universe, or whatever we want to say. The Malcolm Hours one is like possibly my favorite one.
Yeah, that one really came together. It's the creepiest, the most atmospheric.
Yeah, I thought that really looked good.
Yeah.
Rob's here was a lot more simplistic, but I still think this turned out really well too. That's like an old tape recorder, I think. Was this yours or was this?
Yeah, I found it at a thrift store or whatever, and I feel like we needed it for something else, and I just happened to have it. But
right, yeah, it definitely worked for this.
Yeah.
This one I already forgot the name of A World of His Own, A World of His Own, which had Ed Wynn's son in it.
Yeah, it's an odd episode too. Like the way it feels and stuff like that is a little different. It's a little more comedic.
Yeah,
it's like,
strange.
Yeah.
Richard Matheson wrote that episode, which is like a master of suspense and all that kind of stuff. And he had like the original version of the idea of this in a Twilight Zone magazine that I bought online. So I actually read the story, and I thought it would be great, but it's not very good.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I guess I see why they changed it to a more comedic episode. Rob's little monologue here is based off of Keenan's little monologue in the episode where he describes the characters that he's bringing back to life, which I thought was perfect because Rob was like the main writer for Demo Reel, half creating these characters with Doug. And he like co-wrote some of this part because I had something written out and he was like, let me add some stuff into it. And he did really well. Rob's a very good writer. So that worked out. I remember he was very concerned about bringing this character back because he was like, I don't know if I fit in this or that. I think he looks good though.
Yeah.
Especially that door opening looks great. The Carl Copenhagen character and his accent's still on point. Fantastic. I think that the hat is not the same one from what he told me. It's a different hat, but it looks similar.
It's not the exact
enough.
same one, but it's from. I think it's the same. It's basically the same type of hat. Like it's
it's a navy hat.
Yeah.
But that looked really good on him. With the beard and everything that Rob has grown out since then, there's another
insert,
Doug.
Yeah.
Which I think you could tell a little bit more there. That's green screen, but looks pretty good. This was fun. Rob was throwing himself into this. I mean, like really throwing himself into the door and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He really did a good job. And this was great, like cutting back and forth. I didn't have to change the shot. That was very simple but very effective, I think. This was a good one. A little bit shorter than Malcolm's, but I think it turned out really well. The third one, this is with you here. So as you see, like the demo reel intros start to get more and more degraded.
Yeah.
As we went along. But bringing back the Quinn character, what'd you think, Jim?
Yeah, it's always fun to play that Irishman.
Yeah, right.
Rob and I for years talked about doing like something with the Carl and Quinn characters, like bringing them back in some aspect, some way. I always kind of wanted to make a little short about like a little spoof trailer for like almost like a John Wick type thing, but the reveal is that the main character is actually Quinn. He's like a gardener now, and
perfect. That would have been great.
He puts the cap on at the end, and then he goes to visit a friend, and it's Carl, and the two of them that would have been like a little.
That would have been great.
Yeah.
We recorded that like in a separate room, of course, try to get all the moody lighting in there. This was great. So we did this practically.
Yeah.
Everything on the TV was practical. I actually played on the TVs. That's an old CRT TV. Is that what it's called?
Is it RCA or?
I think so, but isn't it called like a CRT TV or something like that, or Tube TV, whatever you want to call it. Pre-flat screen, of course.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I picked that up on like Facebook Marketplace, and it turned out everything.
It worked.
Like,
it
worked.
Great.
Looks really good. This was a homage to the actual Nervous Man, the $4 Room episode, and which a great idea that Douglas Hayes had, the director of it, where they had Rod Serling walk on the walls, basically, an overhead shot. So we tried to match that. Jim, you moved like a panel in my office.
Yeah, we put the
had the camera
up
down
into the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that turned out really well. This was fun, going back and forth. I think people got it. I was a little concerned, like, are people going to understand this is like the same office or whatever?
Yeah.
So that's my hand there.
Yeah.
And that was really funny. And then having Quinn react to everything was great. And this was all timed up.
Right.
So we had to get this right. And, of course, it helped to cross-cut. But we tried to get all the takes to, like, feel more authentic with you sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really feels like they're playing off each other.
This works out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Out there, fixing other people's problems. Aren't you tired of it?
Shut up!
You're tired of it, Jim.
I remember when you sent me the clip of this, I was like, I couldn't stop laughing.
It worked. It worked. They see, that was the most fun. That's my second favorite.
Yeah.
One of the favorite lines I've ever written in my entire life. In the reflection, we kind of tried to insert Doug in there, I think, as the character again. I think that was a fun little Easter egg, because at first I forgot to put him in there, and I was where am I going to put him? I don't even know. So I just put him in the reflection. Yeah, for sure. Downey Dupre, what a guy.
Yeah.
But this, of course, the character coming into color again. I mean, he's kind of taking over. That's kind of what I wanted to play, was like the demo reel characters are taking over the bodies, or, like replacing the actual people who played them. There's a great face right there. No. That worked out really well. Yeah, things get creepier, and now it's in reverse and slower. Now there's Rachel. Yay. This was off of the first demo reel episode with her interview. And we actually got Rachel back to voice some of her dialogue in here. I played actual demo reel audio, like when Heather was talking on the phone here.
This is a great shot, too, the creepy mannequin heads, man.
Right. This one I think I shot on my own. This was in one of our wardrobe areas. And that phone, where'd you get that phone?
I found it at a thrift store years ago. It was just like on the floor. And I was like, oh, it's just such a cool and interesting looking phone. I got to use this as a prop sometime. And I never use it for anything, but it's just such an interesting, it looks like something you'd see in like a Dick Tracy movie or something.
Yeah, exactly. So just having that phone in the middle of like a room and, with no one in there ringing was pretty creepy, especially with the lighting we pulled off here.
Yeah.
I'm not a professional gaffer or anything, so like there are some things I wish we could have lit a little bit brighter, because it turned out to be a little bit fuzzy in the end product. But because in coloring you get to crush the blacks and stuff and bring out the highlights, like it turned out all right. Here's the infamous wrong plug. I know, everybody. Yeah. I know it's the wrong plug. Thank you. I think we're in a rush to get Doug out of there or something, and I was just like, just plug this. And I wasn't thinking about it. And no one else pointed it out to me. So this isn't just my fault.
I was gonna say Heather and Doug both could have been like, that's not a phone plug.
And it's been a while since I've plugged in a landline, but I do remember it's the phone jack, like the one you put into your computer and everything. So. Yeah, that's the only hiccup. I could have just lied and said like, oh, in the Twilight-Tober zone universe, things are getting weird. That's the whole point.
Right.
I like the shadow thing there. That turned out really well. This is for Long Distance Call. This was the first episode that Billy Mooney did. The other one he's much more popular for was It's a Good Life.
Oh, yeah.
That's a much more well-known episode. And then he did In Praise of Pip, which was later, I think the 5th season, which is another good episode. Jack Klugman came back for. He popped up a few different times, but Passions for Trumpet, which was the first episode we did for 2021's episode, or 2021's coverage, he was really good in that episode as well. But originally this was supposed to be Tamara. I wanted Heather to be Doug in this. Heather was going to be saying Doug's lines, and Tamara was going to be playing what Heather ended up playing here. Yeah. I thought that was more appropriate because Tamara and Rachel were friends.
Yeah.
And that would have gone along a little bit better, but because of scheduling conflicts, we couldn't get Tamara out to shoot that day. But Heather did a great job.
Yeah, Heather did great.
People confused her, or when she first came on.
Yeah.
For Rachel, which is weird because they don't really look alike.
Other than they have brown hair.
Yeah, similar hair, and they're white, I guess. Yeah. But Heather did a great job here.
Yeah.
And then like the lines you just heard there, that was actually Rachel. I actually got her. There it is.
Yeah,
right there.
that's cool.
Who is this and everything? And then the line goes busy, or off the hook or whatever that sound is called. I
Yeah.
can't remember anymore.
Busy signal or it's
Yeah.
like the disconnection.
Right. But I'm very happy that Rachel came back. I emailed her about it and gave her the few short lines, and she was really into it.
Yeah.
And really excited. So it was awesome just to have her voice in there, even though she couldn't be on screen. The character from demo reel was still present through her voice.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. So we're showing the intro again because it's a part of the episode. Like the demo reel logo takes over the TV, which I thought that like the effect isn't perfect, but it's good enough for our
Yeah,
purposes.
no, I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah, it was a bitch to track this because
Yeah,
you see
yeah.
on the side the Twilight-Tober zone or Twilight Zone logo is going
Still kind of-
reflected, but I couldn't
Yeah.
really, I didn't have time to like paint that out. So this is based off of Shadow Play, which is a freaking amazing episode of the Twilight Zone, which is about a guy who's basically trapped in his own dream that keeps replaying over and over, and he has no way out. And it's a similar thing here with Doug, like reliving the quote-unquote failure of demo reel, if you want to call it that. I love your, see, we had the line with your regular Jim accent
Right.
for the first line, and then the second line you deliver in the
The
Irish,
Quinn,
the
yeah.
Quinn one. You remember anything about this shooting day? This was a longer day for us because this is a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff to do, and it started with all of us, and by the end it was just, I think, you, me, and Doug. But I just remember getting the timing right of us all coming out of the doors at
That
different
took a
times.
lot.
Like,
I remember I was like doing it like a conductor, like for band or whatever.
Yeah.
Like 1 and 2 and 3 and
Yeah.
come out, out.
yeah.
That was a tough one to match up, but this was a good shot. I was trying to hide that light back there, but you only see it for a couple frames, so I decided to keep that
Yeah.
version of the shot. But here it was. I added those clicks, and then they come out 1, 2, 3, and then Rob took a little longer, but it's all right. And then the color pops on the screen, and it looks really good. There's our Zolly shot.
Yeah.
It's not super dramatic because, like, you have to really have a long stretch, I
Yeah,
think, to
yeah.
make it work. But it came together really well. There they are. We got the Dutch angle. It's Rachel again. It's cool to see Rachel's voice coming out of Heather's mouth.
Yeah.
And then cross-cutting between the black and white and the color, I thought really worked. And then this
the smoke.
shot's so cool.
Oh, yeah,
Love
it's
this
so
one.
good.
And we have the fog coming in there. I think we set off the smoke alarm once in there. And then to look, you see. So the implication is Malcolm is trapped in the dummy now.
Yeah.
Doug was so loud in the screaming. Oh, here we go.
I love this.
That was a Doug improv thing.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That worked out really well, seeing dead Rob. And then the phone ringing again. You know, it's funny, like, grading the black and white. You could do different things. Like, if I brought the scale to more the blue side, if you ever did any kind of color in post-production, if you bring, like, the color to one side, it's orange or blue. Like, that's one of the basic options. And it changes the black and white completely because it highlights the orange or blue parts. So I did that a lot compared to, like, certain shots, you know? Like this, I brought a lot of orange because that light was right on him. And there's Donnie on the phone, Doug voicing Donnie, talking about a reboot. Don't you guys want a demo reel reboot?
Yeah.
Everybody really wanted it, I thought. Okay, this
I know.
effect. Jim, talk about this.
All right, so this was, I think from the beginning of when you kind of came up with the idea when you wanted to do this, you're like, I would be great if we could do this makeup effect that, you know, was kind of made popular with like the Jekyll and Hyde kind of a thing.
And they did it in Twilight Zone a few times.
They did, yeah, right. They did it in Twilight Zone a few times, and it's a really easy effect and a very
It's effective.
effective, absolutely. Where we're just using red and green or red and blue light.
We used blue for this one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they used green on the actual sets, but
But yeah, just using those different colored gels. We just had Doug had the makeup already on.
which was red makeup
right.
lines and everything.
And he starts off in the red light, and then as he walks into the green light, it brings out all of that makeup.
it all comes out. Yeah,
Right.
it really, like, man, I was so impressed with
Yeah.
how it turned out. It's so simple. It's
Yeah.
like, why don't we use this more often?
I know. Like when you brought it up, I was like, oh yeah, we have to try that out. I thought it would be more difficult to kind of get the lighting just right and stuff, but really like as soon as we set it up,
Yeah,
it worked. It was just like, oh man.
it came together like perfectly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was kind of like the master shot that we had in mind from the beginning, and Doug
Yeah.
used it for his 40th birthday and everything, and stuff.
Yeah.
So that worked out really well.
Yeah.
We had Donnie come in at the end to replace the narrator to kind of bring that full circle that he's kind of caught in this loop of demo
Yeah.
reel. So, yeah, that's about it, guys. I mean, it was really fun to bring demo reel back for this short little thing. I think that again, this is some of the best stuff that I've done. And thanks, Jim, for joining me and for helping.
Yeah, no, it was a blast. I mean, it was fun just to have the opportunity to do some cool effects and stuff too, and to use that bust of Malcolm. Like
Yes, finally.
I made that face cast for a few years ago from another production we were going to do that never really happened. But so when you called me and you were like, "Oh, wait, would it be possible to make a Malcolm head of Malcolm?" Like, or I mean, like a mannequin head of Malcolm, you know? And I was like, "Yeah, actually, I could do that." Like, yeah, making the cast and attaching it to just a foam head basically and painting it up. It was eerie.
Yeah.
When I painted it up and it was sitting on my workbench, it was like. It was eerie. When I left the room and came back in, it like even took me aback.
Yeah, I mean, it really turned out well. And Malcolm looks a little bit different now, I guess. But I mean, you could see like that's totally Tacoma. Like,
Yeah.
with the short hair and everything,
Right.
like older, younger Malcolm, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
But we still have it in the wardrobe
Yeah, it's
area
still there.
too. I think somebody put a crown on it, so that it's just sitting there with a crown on
It's
it. So.
become just a staple of the wardrobe room now.
But yeah, I mean, thanks again for helping me out on this, Jim. Couldn't have done without you.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yeah, I hope we get to do something else like this in the future. But the goal is to kind of, by the end of Twilight-Tober Zone, to make our own Twilight Zone episode. So I don't think that'll happen this year, but maybe 2023 when we wrap up the coverage of the original series, we could do that. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching this. If you didn't see any of these segments without our commentary, go watch that. 'Cause
Yeah, for sure.
That came together really well. We'll see you next time, guys. Thanks for joining
All
us.
right, thanks. Bye.